and you're like, "Be wrapped, baby, be wrapped."
Thank you very much for coming out on this just glorious Wednesday afternoon, or evening I should say. It feels like afternoon still, but it's a beautiful day in the park here. And I guess in a way I'm sort of sad to think that we don't do this every week anymore, because we have another wonderful group here and we're going to be playing another awesome game. But unfortunately our time here on this planet and with Hempology is short, so we're really only going to be here for a few more weeks. I should warn you now. Fair enough, but you know, there's other stuff to do in life for me and others, so this is where it's at. Next week we're going to play a game of Reach for the Pot, but the first 8 of you that sign up get in the game. It's just a casual game of Reach for the Pot, not a semi-final like this one, or the final that will be happening in 2 weeks' time. And then in 3 weeks, the last of these meetings for now, we have our annual contest for the best pipe, the best bong, the best t-shirt, the best joint rolling contest, and the best spoken word that is like a song or poem. And so that all happens again I think it's the 10th of July. And so that's going to be the last meeting until September, and we have meetings sporadically throughout the year. Here in Victoria, throughout the year, we have far more public rallies, hempologies and stuff than any other city in Canada. Vancouver, Toronto, for what they're worth, they have larger events. Canada Day and stuff, it's massive, but they have 3 events a year: Canada Day, the Marijuana March, and the 420, obviously. Where here we're out all year round, and in September we start back up again at UVic, and our 420 has moved back to the center of campus up at UVic, and so really that's where I've put my focus, and so you're welcome to join us at that point. But for now, for here, we've got our game show, the world's only game show, Reach for the Pot. There's nothing else like this, and I'd like to think it's the best entertainment in town too. And so I mentioned it's a semi-final. This is the 9th year we've actually had a tournament for Reach for the Pot in Victoria. The winning 4 players every year have got personal trophy bongs with their name on them, and the Reach for the Pot initials usually in the year, and champs, because the winning 4 players every year are champions of cannabis, I would like to think. And so these players here are not just fighting for the emotional benefit of winning, but they're fighting for bongs too, folks. This is really serious here. And so tonight we got 1 repeat bong winner. Carly here won a bong a few years ago, and if you've not seen her in action, she has lungs of steel. You'll get to see them at work soon. But anyway, yeah, this is again our semi-final and the last one. We're back in 2 weeks, and we're all looking forward to tonight's game. We got some great contestants, many friends I've known for quite a long time, and so let's go. So I'm going to explain the rules once to everybody. These guys know, but you might not. There's 10 chances to get points. 8 of them are trivia questions. I ask a question, they got to clap in order to essentially hit the buzzer. Once they've clapped, they got to give me an answer. They can't talk to their teammates or think about it anymore. And if they get it right, it's 20 points. If they don't, the other team gets a guess for 20 points. If they don't get that, there's another chance. It's for 10 points. I'll give out some hints. And then if nobody gets the 10 points, we do multiple choice. Everything else, I make it up as we go along. That's the way I like it, so that's the way it is. And yeah, usually we start off each of the first questions with either something about Hempology 101 or our sister club we sort of call the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club. Because when I started Hempology 18 years ago this September, when I began these weekly meetings and stuff like this, one of the first issues that really came to light was medical use of cannabis, and people needed medicine, and it was clear that was the case. And I met a lady who made cookies and brownies and fed it to people with AIDS, and The difference for people with AIDS back then, when they were dying very quickly and had no medications, was that people that smoked pot would stay alive. People that started smoking and eating pot would put weight back on. They'd feel, their energy come back. They'd be ready to go back to work. And, and so I saw that, kind of life come back to people that were essentially giving up and dying at the time. And so back in January 1996, we founded the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, and it's now the world's oldest medical dispensary, got about 4,600 members, and it's been quite an adventure in some ways. It's been good and bad. Right now things are relatively good for various reasons. We turned it into a non-profit society last year. In fact, Dieter at the end is the executive director managing that. And tomorrow I'm going to be in Vancouver with a group of medical dispensaries. The CAMCD is trying to organize all the dispensaries across Canada and get us to collude and work together to help lobby the government against what they're doing. Because just today, the federal government put in their final regulations that they're changing for medical users. They're taking away patients' rights to grow their own or have a caregiver, and they're going to force them to buy it off commercial producers. And that's going to kick into effect in full on April Fool's Day of next year. But as of this October, they're going to stop issuing licenses to grow. So October 1st, we're actually organizing national rallies. Again, it's the second in a series of rallies. On February the 19th or something, we organized close to 100 rallies across Canada where people got out and went to their MP offices. We hope to do better in October 1st, and then again on April Fool's Day, we'll be following that up with another rally. And so one of the main goals of Hempology has been all along to educate the public about what's been happening with the Cannabis Buyers Club, medical marijuana. We've got a court case I'll probably talk about. And if you want to keep up to date, you can grab one of our newspapers on the front here. I got a whole pile of them. You can come up at any point and just grab one. The current issue is running out quickly, but they're all different, so feel free to grab them. And the newspaper, again, has had a focus of educating the public. And my work at the University of Victoria as well, with Hempology 101, there's been a focus towards educating the public. I teach a free non-credit lecture series. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, right. Actually, that's from last week's games. Just sit down. He's nervous. That's not a good sign, Rocket. Yeah, smoke a joint. Yeah. That's great. So I teach a free non-credit lecture series at the University of Victoria, so you're welcome to attend. It's a student club that basically rents the room, and I don't get paid for it. There's no there's no fee or anything. You just go to the lecture. It's from 3 to 4 Wednesdays, starting in September. Then we go to the center of campus, where we have a 420 every Wednesday. It's the largest student club at the University of Victoria. We're expanding it to other campuses across Canada. I think we have 8 schools we'll be working at in September in 5 provinces. So it's kind of one of my goals right now, is kind of switching gears with Hempology to spread it to other schools. Now, I mentioned the 420 up at UVic. We've been having the 420s up there for, I believe now, 15 years. We've had weekly 420s at the University of Victoria, and it hasn't been without its problems. I got arrested there back in 2000 for sharing joints and was convicted. But by the time I got back, the club was bigger than ever. And then a couple of years ago, the student administration realized that they couldn't actually stop us, so they came up with a smoking bylaw, and they moved the 420. The student security actually came to 420 and said, you guys got to move towards a student union building because there's a smoking bylaw at this part of the school. So we just went along with the program, went to the student union building. However, we went to the student body itself, and we were able to manage to get what we called a referendum, or a referendum, last year when the students had their election for their student council. And those students voted in favor of giving Hempology 101 basically an exemption from the smoking bylaw for being a tradition of the students, because there's an exemption in the smoking bylaw for traditional ceremonies. And so now 420 is literally official tradition of the students of the University of Victoria. It's pretty awesome. And so tonight's first question is, you're clapping? You're just happy clapping still from the last point. Okay. Sometimes these guys try to guess the point or questions, but be careful with that. But let's see if you know. Within 2%, what percent of UVic students voted for 420s? He just beat you. What do you think? 80%. No, it's not 80%. It was 51.9. So there it is. 51 was the guess, 51.9 the answer. You can't get much closer than that. And wow, for 20 points, team is looking pretty serious here. But there's lots of points on the table in this game. Maybe the questions aren't that tough this week. We'll see how it goes. But there you go, good one. Some of these folks may have studied for this. We'll see. So, gee, I think I remembered it. Yeah, here we go. I think it's in this one. Anyway, in the last few Treating Yourself magazines, I've had stories about my book. You may have heard, but I've written the complete history of cannabis. I would like to think, at least a summary of it. It's hard to get it all in there. You could have like an encyclopedia of cannabis, honestly. So this is really more like a summary of all the different works that are out there. And so Hempology 101, the course and stuff is based on that. And we've got a writer for the newspaper, Al Graham, who also writes for Treating Yourself magazine. And he's been really great lately writing about my book and travels and stuff. And I've been traveling a lot with Hempology. It's been really awesome. And last year, Gail and I flew all the way to Halifax, and we did conventions at Dalhousie University, Mount Allison University, New Brunswick, in Ottawa, and in Toronto. And Al wrote a story about the convention in Toronto in one of these papers or magazines. And there's also in this one here, I think it's number 39, a really great article about Owen and his trial with us at the Cannabis Buyers Club with derivatives. And so we've got actually a couple of articles in this one. And let's see if any of these guys actually read the article about my trip out east. For 20 fat points, who was the last speaker at the Toronto convention? No, it wasn't me. Although that's a relatively good guess. But I don't believe it was me, no. But yeah, I have a tendency to ask trick questions, so really, you're thinking, but not quite. Let's see if these guys can even remember who spoke at the convention. Let's see, Dieter, what are you thinking? Neve. No, it wasn't Neve. Neve and I both spoke at the convention, so certainly, but he was there, but he was not the last speaker. And actually, no, I know that I wasn't because I got the answer out of the magazine, so. So it's not Neve. Neve is the director of Cannabis is Living Medicine, and who also organizes, or at least tried to this year, the marijuana march. There's a bit of a kerfuffle in Toronto over that I don't want to get into. But they actually had 2 marijuana marches in Toronto this year because people are crazy back there. But it all worked out, no problems essentially, just not a lot of focus it seems. But there, it's still 10 fat points on the table here. If anybody can remember who was either the last speaker, or can you guys even remember who was in that nice big article? Like, there's 3 pages. I got pictures of everybody too. Oh, I never read it? Uh-oh. You're certainly at a disadvantage there. No. Let me think here. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Yeah. Uh-oh. Kirk Tusaw. No, it wasn't Kirk. Kirk has spoken at our conventions before. He's our lawyer. But yeah, nice try. You can't get 2 guesses there. No, Kirk wasn't in Toronto for that. So spit out a quick answer here, guys, or we're just... Bratzer. No, it wasn't Dave Bratzer. No. Okay. So the last speaker at the convention was either Al Graham, the writer I mentioned for the newspaper, Ben, I don't have his last name down here. Ben from... Oh, I'm burning. Yeah, I thought that's what I thought. Ben Reburn from the Vapor Social. Vapor Lounge there. Matt Murnaugh or Marco Redna, the publisher of Treating Yourself? So was it Al Graham, Ben Rayburn, Matt Murnaugh, or Marco Redna? Who was the last speaker at our convention in Toronto? Okay, so you guys got a guess over here? Marco Redna, the publisher of Treating Yourself magazine and the organizer of the big expo that we went to. Yes, you got it right there. So they guessed Al Graham, the writer. So what the hell's your team name again? Smokin Banana Peels. That's got 5 points, so they're in the game. And like I say, lots of points coming. So tonight's third question is a store question. There are so many head shops out there nowadays, and you got to go check them all out if you're into cannabis at all, because they all got different stuff. And I've been traveling around a lot across Canada with my book, again, doing book signings in all sorts of places. Last year, in fact, we drove, Gail and I, to northern Saskatchewan, and I got to run naked through some hemp fields. It was wicked. And we got a video of Hempology and the hemp fields where you can see there's like 40 acres of hemp that we got to go check out, and we were juicing hemp plants and making cannabis extracts. It's really amazing medicine in the fields. And I did book signings along the way at all sorts of different stores, including this one. For 20 points, can anybody tell me in what Western Canadian city is Bongs and Such? Does anybody know? Edmonton. No, it's not Edmonton.
I thought that was the answer, but not where it is.
So I don't know if you guys clapped yet, but Steve feels ready. Where do you think? Medicine Hat. No, it's not in Medicine Hat where our dear friend Kristen is. There is a Chad's 420 there. Actually, Chad's 420 in Prince Rupert got busted today, or maybe busted yesterday, or Monday, sorry, and they just announced today that it's closed. So it's 10 points on the table. You guys hadn't clapped that. Where do you think? Kelowna. No, it's not Kelowna. Kelowna is where the Dekine store and dispensary is. But where do you think? There it is, 10 points. It is Calgary. And not to make you guys feel bad or anything, but there is a poster in the back room at the store that you guys, 3 of you tend to work in, that you'll notice every day that you work for the next little while. Yeah, you know where it is, yeah. So, just love it. You stare at that wall. Yeah, you stare at that wall for hours, buddy. So, yeah, I didn't want to say that when it was still up there. You might have thought, oh yeah, what is in that? Because it's printed in the back of your head, right? But tunnel vision, right there. I love it. And so do these guys, because it's 10 points. 5-point difference. 15 points over here for Smokin Banana Peels. And 20 points still team with the lead, but it's disappearing quickly. Let's see how they can stand. Lots of questions left though. Oh damn, I forgot the next prop. Uh-oh. Yeah, I tend to forget my props. So there's a few years ago, a game was produced in town. Actually, I think around the time that I showed up 16 years ago or something, the cultivation game first was put out in print. And I guess an attempt was made at a second printing of the game, and we got wrapped up into that a few years ago, and it was hell. I gave a whole bunch of games away. And I'm assuming that most of you guys have got one of these cultivation games kicking around. Oh, you guys don't. That was before your time. Okay. Oh, okay. You guys probably got a game kicking around. No, you don't, Bill? Okay, well, this might not be a fair question for everybody here. But let's see if any of these guys have played their game or can remember some of the people that were on the bills, because they got faces and people on each one of the different bills. And so let's see if anybody can remember, for 20 huge points, Who is on the $100 bill? No, it's not Jack. He is on one of the bills. He is on one of the bills, but that's not it. Let's see, for 20 big fat points, can you remember who's on the bills and who might be on? No, you calm down. I know you're really nervous, Rocket. You can't sit down or anything like that, but like, just mellow out. Okay, you clap, spit something out. Pressure.
Do it,
Oh man, I don't know him. And it's not Jesus either.
Don't joke.
Pardon? Oh shit. No, I'm not on the bill. And I shouldn't have given you the hint about Jesus, but Jesus isn't in on any of the bills, so you can forget about that too. But no, me nor Jesus. But Rocket thinks he knows. Who do you think it is? Ian Hunter. No, it's not Ian Hunter. I wish I had the game here so I could show which bill people were. Ian was on one of the bills, but that's not it. But who do you think for 10 points? Willie Nelson. No, I don't think Willie was on any of the bills, but he would deserve to be so. No. Here's the four options, the multiple choice options here. Is it Adam and Eve, George Washington, Buddha, or Queen Victoria, who used cannabis tincture for her menstrual cramps, as recommended by her doctor, actually? So that's a very well-documented use of medical cannabis and extracts is Queen Victoria, because there was no prohibition at the time and no fear for her and others to proclaim its use. So it's either Adam and Eve, George Washington. No. Adam and Eve, George Washington, Buddha, or Queen Victoria. Which one of those four? And if you know out there, please keep it to yourself. And if you're guessing, don't fuck these guys up.
Buddha had menstrual cycles.
Buddha was on one of the bills. Those people were all on a bill in the first or second edition. But let's see if these guys can remember. I'll get our leader's answer first. Okay, what do you think? Buddha over here, Adam and Eve over here, but it's George Washington in the middle. George Washington, who not only said that hemp should be sown everywhere, but grew female cannabis plants in his garden that he referred to distinctly differently than the hemp that was grown in the fields for the rope. And so he would talk about the female cannabis plants and then the hemp plants that were grown for industrial purposes. So we're quite sure that George was a toker and a roper, and none of these guys, though, were able to figure that one out. That was a particularly tough question, but I figure we're in the semifinals, so I'm just putting it to him, right?
Got it.
So let's see if they know the next question, because they probably heard of this particular man. I like to ask a career question, like, what career does this person have? Because there's a lot of amazing personalities in the movement, people that are doing like really amazing work or funky shit, dispensaries starting up all over. Just the industry is exploding. And so let's see if these guys know exactly where this person fits in. And you can't just say writer. That's the one thing I qualify. You got to say either journalist or author if that's going to be your guess. Every one of these people are writers, so if you say that, it's hard for me to say no. So that's the one distinction that I like to make. But let's see if anybody here knows what career Paul Lewin has. Paul Lewin. Does anybody know the career of Paul Lewin? Lawyer, you are on. Yes, he was the lawyer that represented Matt Murnaugh in the courts in Ontario last year, or for the last few years, trying to challenge access into the federal government's program. And so they were successful at the lower court. Unfortunately, they lost to the Court of Appeal. They're trying to go to the Supreme Court of Canada, but that hasn't happened yet. I do have some good court news, though. Just today, word was received that Chris Bennett, in his arguments, Chris Bennett is an author. I usually bring his books on the religious use of cannabis, or he's got like 3 books. And he has a store, the Urban Shaman in Vancouver, a few years ago, not being charged criminally at all, which is amazing because Chris has been an activist for like 2 decades. But aside from That's the trick. And make sure the jar is still tight. Okay. No. You guys don't got a grinder out or anything, right? Okay. So yeah, so both teams got a gram a pot. They basically got to break it up, roll 2 joints, and smoke it faster than the other team. And the first one done gets 10 points. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, go with the basic rules here. These guys all know what they're doing. So, smoking contest starts tonight in 3, 2, 1, go. So as you may have noticed, we're filming tonight's event. If you want to check out some of the other game shows and other stuff we do, the lectures that I teach at the university, we have conventions that I do at schools, all sorts of different stuff. Please check it out on our YouTube page for Hempology. And you can find it at hempology.ca. Just kind of go to the left-hand side. But as for these guys, looks like Carly's got one lit, but Fuzzy is not far behind, and looks like we're having a trade. Dan was just getting too nervous there, and Matt has taken over very quickly. But Rocket looks really nervous. I don't know if he slept last night or whatever's going on, but Rocket's not going too quick. So it looks like, despite the transfer with Team, they're still beating Rocket to the gate. Of course, I just made him even more nervous, but there he goes. And so Team with Carly really just going for it. Carly rarely shares at these things because it's not about friends anymore.
Go, Carly!
And it's about the point. So Carly here is just going to take the cake, I think, here, because these guys are a little bit behind. We'll see, but they got their work cut out. Maybe Rocket rolled the joint nice and loose. That's one of the tricks I shouldn't give up, because that helps them burn quickly here. But Team's already got one roach in the pipe, and breaking that up. And Carly is just working away there. That second one's not lasting too long. We'll see. And smoking the banana peels before the game might not have been a good thing. But you guys don't know yet. But you guys can smoke in the pipe. You don't have to wait till. I said just go for it. There's no. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I was saying there's no holding back tonight. Just the first team to make the gram disappear gets 10 points. It's kind of simple like that. But I think Team's got it all in the pipe. And Carly and Matt's crawled out of the cave today, and there it is. There it is. Team on a mission. With substitute there, Dan, helping out, but I think really once the joints were rolled, that was Carly again. I don't know how many. Carly, have you lost a smoking contest yet? No, no. And you haven't either, Matt? Okay, well, there we go. With 50 points, Team has got a good lead, but with 15 points, honestly, the Smokin' Banana Peels aren't out yet. But Dieter isn't really stoned this time like he was last time, which took him out of the game because he's not much for the smoking contest. But, okay, it's all good. Thanks for your help there, Jay. We're going to get back with the game here. And so we like to do, I guess, 2 10-point, I call them challenge questions, which are a little different than the rest of them. And tonight I haven't done many fun ones like I've sometimes done. I've been kind of lazy and just done list challenge questions. But tonight you guys can also challenge yourself against these guys. Because tonight's 10-point challenge question is something we call Guess the Grams. So what it is I got a jar of pot here, And I'm going to show it to all of our contestants, and you guys can come up and check out the jar of pot as well. You got to guess how much pot is in here. The team that guesses the closest to what's in this jar gets 10 points. So if you want to come check it out, I'll show you guys up here as well. You guys will be able to figure it out. No. So I'm going to show the teams first, and then I'm going to let them debate. Here, I'll show it to you guys later. I want to show it to these guys first. I'm not telling the teams what strain it is. I'll show it to you guys again, okay? So you guys can chat for a sec as a team. And then you guys can all guess here.
$3.8.
Well, like I said, keep your guesses to yourselves for different reasons. It's more fair to do that. And lets you kind of compete against the different teams without kind of messing them up. I guess I know what's in here, but it was something I tend to forget. So I brought scales just to prove to everybody what the answer is. But yeah, let's see. We'll see how close or not they're able to get. But they just know. They just know. Okay. Well, I'll get everybody's guess, and then we'll get out the scales. So, where's my book?
Move closer.
Run away.
So, we've got a guess over there. What are you guys thinking? 4.5 over here, and 3.4 over there. So, pardon? It is a strain we've come to know as Mountain Jam, which isn't generally on the marketplace. Yeah, I should use a flat surface. Hey, look at that. Cool, okay. Yeah, see, these guys are professionals. I'm just the mouthpiece. But let's see how they did.
That's not water.
Where's that?
Works though.
Uh-oh. Some of it fell.
Drug abuse.
What was that? But you might want
There it is. That's what I thought. 3.6 grams. So just by 0.2, these guys got it. They said 3.4. So there it is, Rob. Yeah, you were pretty damn close there too, buddy.
He was right on.
I was like,
So I'll have to destroy this evidence later. But we do have to move on with the game. So with that, team picks up another 10 points. And the Smoking Banana Peels have their work cut out for them. They have their work cut out for them. So let me look at the point schedule here. Yeah, that's 60 points for team, and 15 points for Smokin' Banana Peels. So basically, Smokin' Banana Peels, you guys need points on every single question. Question around many people's favorite characters, Cheech and Chong. you might not know that last year Chong was diagnosed with cancer, prostate cancer, took a bunch of different therapies, and including eating cannabis oil, and it has apparently gotten rid of the cancer. He's cancer-free right now, without surgery, without chemo or radiation or any of that crazy shit. So we're all happy that Chong is around and more of an advocate than ever. And he's had a long and distinguished career. For 20 fat points, what year did Cheech and Chong produce their first album? 69, no, Rocket. No, that would have been quite a streak to have pulled that off. But it was not 69. That was a great year. Great year. In fact, this Saturday I'm celebrating my 44th birthday, having been born in 69. So many good things came in 69, but not Cheech and Chong's first album. Let's see if these guys can put the game away with a guess here. What are you guys thinking? 78? No, it's not 78. I can't even give out a hint. No, it's not 79, Rocket. So you guys, no, I can't give out hints now. You guys got to take a guess, and then it's multiple choice. So, what are you guys thinking here? 83? No, it's not 83. I guess the hint is you guys started guessing when the movies came out. I think Up in Smoke came out in 79, but I didn't even get to breathe a hint. You guys were just all over me there. So let's see if you can remember, though, or guess, I guess, at this point, which one of these years it is. No, hold off. It's multiple choice. 68, 71, 74, 77. Which one of those years did Cheech and Chong make their first album? And I think it's called the Cheech and Chong album, and really put themselves on the map. Was it 68, 71, 74, or 77? Which one of those years did they do it? What are you guys guessing over here? To stay in the game at 71! There it is, folks. These guys are 77, but no, 1971. And with 5 points, the Smokin' Banana Peels are still in the game, but they're 20 points behind, folks. Again, a lot of pressure on them there. They had a big job to catch up. Team built up a huge lead there. But now we're at our final question, and let's see if these characters know their hemp products. The way I'd like to end the game is sort of Price is Right style. We'll all come up with some product or service, and I'll ask, tonight it's within 25 cents. Well, but it's not like I'm asking you a big deal. Within 25 cents, what is the price at the market for this jar of raw hemp butter? The market on Yates. Who said anything about fair? Did you sign the contract to this show?
Fuzzy knows.
But Fuzzy thinks he knows. $8.99. I forgot I put the price in my pocket. Let me see here. 1 bottle of hemp oil. It's not $8.99. So thanks so much for playing, guys. Stick it through to the end of the question here if you could, though. I got prizes for you, but it's not $8.99. I'm sorry, but you can ask any questions you want. I'm not going to answer any of them. Yeah, unless it's like a rule question or something. But no, the market on Yates within 25 cents. How much for this hemp butter? And hemp, by the way, contains all 8 essential fatty acids and amino acids to sustain yourself. You don't need to eat meat. You can eat hemp and other sources of protein, and you'll be healthier for it. It's more digestible than sources of meat. Doesn't contain all the other additives and growth hormones and other crap that they put in other meat. And it's, but here, you guys, before tax. $8.45. No, it's cheaper than $8.45. It's and actually it's on sale right now. I should no wait, no. This is not the sale price. Get off my ass. That was great. Yeah, it is on sale, but this is not the sale price. This is the normal price. What are you thinking, Matt? It is $6.49, so there you go. You just couldn't be much closer, so you just sealed the deal there. But again, thank you so much for playing, guys. But team, you're in the final here in 2 weeks' time, so congratulations there. And yeah, lots of fun left. Again, next week, the first 8 people that want to play in the game, you're in. And I should have gave a plug for Cannabis Day, but here it is. The next big event we're doing in town is on Canada Day, 420, right in the front steps of the courthouse. We hotbox the courthouse every year, and we actually play a game, Reach for the Pod, after we do the hotbox. And it's been a great event the last few years. The police have actually helped us make sure the security don't bug us too much. So it's something that we're advertising more than ever. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's, I guess, a week from Monday. But we'll see you back here next week for another game. And again, we'll hopefully see you back in 2 weeks for the final of this tournament here. So thanks again to all our contestants for playing. That was a heck of a lot of fun as always. Thank you guys for coming out. Before we call tonight, though, every time we gather, we have 42 seconds of silence that we pay respect, essentially, to the victims of the war on drugs. And I think last week when I was here, Mark Emery was still in solitary confinement. I think he got let out the day after. He spent 5 days in solitary confinement because the prison thought that a picture that was taken of his band might have come from a cell phone. That's despite the fact that they had paperwork proving that it was prison guards that took the picture on prison equipment that had been authorized to be used by the prison, but somebody else that didn't look at any of this paperwork just freaked out and said, oh, that was taken by a cell phone, throw him in solitary confinement, where he sat for 5 days. And so luckily Mark isn't in solitary confinement anymore, but many people are, for no better reasons than the one I just said. And so for everybody that's sitting in solitary or in jail or otherwise suffering for this war, if you can please join me for 42 seconds of silence, starting please in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for our teams tonight. And if you want to play dodgeball with Team 420, I forgot to give it a plug, but tomorrow at the back lawn of the courthouse at 420, we're playing dodgeball and Smokin Pot. I'm not there this week. I'm in Vancouver at a meeting. But tomorrow, again, 420, if you want to join the gang and play some dodgeball. Again, that happens every week. And if I don't see you, I guess, well, I won't be there tomorrow. So if I don't see you next week, maybe I'll see you at dodgeball. But otherwise, we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Have a great night, and smoke them if you got them.